Okay, this next one's going to be a fun one. This next subject I'm about to speak on, which will be the topic of self-masochism. This is a subject I know very, very, very well. I'm very familiar with how this is originally instigated within somebody's life. I'm very familiar with the patterns and routines it creates. I'm very familiar with what it does to a person and the repercussions of allowing it to persist in your life, what happens as a result of that. And I'm very familiar with the uphill, constant struggle it'll take to overcome tendencies of self-masochism. It can be overcome, it can be healed, and it can be amended. But what it takes is every fiber of your being, every ounce of will you have, every bit of strength you have. It'll take everything you've got in order to cover it. If you have become a self-masochistic person, it's going to take, don't kid yourself into thinking, it's going to take anything less than everything you've got to overcome it. So, self-masochism. Self-masochism originally, this is what I've learned in my lifetime, and what I know to be true, due to my own personal experience, is that self-masochism is a disease we pass on to our children by way of either demonstrating to them how to be self-masochistic by being self-masochistic ourselves as parents, or by way of abandonment by parents. For females, for women, for girls, for your little girls, the abandonment by your father will be the most influential force of your life until you grow as a woman, as a human being, as a person, in your intelligence and in your self-awareness and in your own ability to hold yourself accountable. Over time, it'll take you many years to finally be able to come to the conclusion of what self-masochism is. It's not something anybody can point out to you. Many will try, and when you come to the realization you have been masochistic, you will look back and you will remember times when many people attempted to tell you and reach out and help you, and you just were not ready for whatever reason or mentally prepared to acknowledge that such things had to be overcome. Self-masochism for females comes in the form of promiscuous. You become promiscuous when you don't have a father figure to establish a sense of self-worth in you. Without anybody there, without how your father treats you as a little girl growing up, or if he's there or not, will dictate what your own sense of personal self-worth is. For whatever reason, I could not tell you why this is. This is just how I've observed human psychology to be. So, if you are abandoned by your father in your teenage years, right when you're growing and crossing your threshold from being a child to becoming an adult person, and you're in transition, and you're looking for adult persons older than yourself to guide you and show you the way and establish in you what you're supposed to think about yourself the rest of your life. If somebody treats you disposably, as if you are nothing, and they walk away from you without ever looking back, this creates a sense of unworthiness in the female. I don't know what it does for male, I can only speak for the female side. With this sense of unworthiness, the female will unknowingly be on a quest to search for love in all the wrong places, looking to either recreate the situation that originally created the upset, or you'll be seeking to find the love that you never got from your father. And for females, you'll usually end up dating older men twice your age. Generally, speaking from my own experience, men that were my actual father's age, that were the same age as my father. I was literally searching for the love he never gave me in other older men. And the problem is, if you find an older man as a 21-year-old or a 20-year-old female, if you say you find a 50-year-old man who's willing to play this part and supposedly give you this love you're searching for, which you can never find and which ultimately you have to see as coming from a source within yourself. But anyways, any man who is willing to play this part is a dysfunctional man, and I can speak that from with all experience. Any man who's willing to date a woman And now there are rare exceptions, soulmate exceptions, I'm sure. But I'm saying, mostly, any man who is 50 years old and is willing to steal the youth, and willing to steal the dreams and the ambitions, and steal all the innocence away from someone as young as 20 years old, is willing to allow them to masochistically, basically torture themselves with your presence, is an unhealthy person. They're taking advantage of the fact that you're young and naive, and that you're misguided, and that you're searching for love. I guarantee you this. So just watch out for that. Anyways, masochism. Masochism pops up like gophers. It just pops up in so many different forms you can never anticipate or fully know what to expect. It'll come in the form of self-mutilation as far as disfigurement of your appearance goes. Maybe tattoos. Maybe cutting off all your hair. Maybe piercing yourself in weird places that get you public scrutiny from society and alienate you from your peers. It may come in the form of drug use or using alcohol. It may just, there's a million and one ways to destroy yourself. It's not even funny. And so masochism is just a continuous, you're functioning from this belief system that you're unworthy. And until you, for me anyways, it took me years of creating a wake of destruction behind myself. And also at the same time, while simultaneously I was holding on to my soul and creating art throughout my whole life, and I was growing as an artist, I was beginning to grow to see what was truly special inside myself and what there was to love. So as I'm growing to realize there is something about myself to love, at the same time I'm also racking up years of damage, which could help validate that maybe this is a pattern I'm stuck on. I'm beginning to see that maybe that guy wasn't an asshole, or that guy wasn't an asshole. And it was that I was actually just searching for an asshole, and he was just playing the part. He was just a man who was willing to play the part. And that, in all actuality, it was me who had some issues. And so that's what masochism is.